Already in progress from Phoenix Raceway, about 3 laps into this race, and it looks like we haven't missed a thing under caution on this 3rd lap of competition. Jake Prince, your race leader, with Dakota Long in 2nd, Perrin Huggins in that 3rd bronze medal slot, and we need to bring up the correct graphics for the race league. There it is. ENEA Race 2 from Phoenix Raceway. I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage. You have not missed a thing, and neither have I, apparently, because we're tuning in just at the right time here. So Jake Prince will lead. Dakota Long is in 2nd. Huggins in that 3rd position. Last week's winner, Dakota Long, in the number 8 Monster Ford Mustang. Cody McFadden in 4th, and Sean Anderson in that 5th position. So straight away, it looks like the drivers just had a crash on lap number 1. But we haven't missed much, and we'll get back to that racing action. Phoenix Raceway, the site of our 2nd competition this season, 130 miles from the Diamond in this Arizona desert. 3 tire changes for the drivers and 1 fast repair. Well, I believe it's actually 2 tire changes and no fast repair, but who's counting, right? We'll get this fixed up, no problem. But we apologize for that late start. But we're off and, well, we're not really running, are we? We're off and pacing. Jake Prince up front, Dakota Long in 2nd. Brian Tagg in the 10th position in the double 9 machine. Lucas Reed in the 11th position. Thunder Mansell sitting in 13th. The lone Canadian in tonight's field, Gerald Gallant, all the way at the back. Connor Cordes, looks like he was involved in that accident. And then Ryan Pasoko as well, sitting 25th out of 26 drivers. But the lights are off atop the pace truck, and we're about to go racing once again. Jake Prince and Dakota Long will have control of the field when we take the flag once again. And they finished 1-2. Irrespectively, Dakota Long getting the win at Daytona last week. Jake Prince finishing in that 2nd position after they raced side by side to the line. 2/100ths of a second was the difference. Let's see where it is this time around. Waiting for that green flag to fly in the air.
Green, green, green.
Let's go racing. Prince with the early advantage. Perrin Huggins behind him. Dakota Long on the top side. Dylan Schultz sitting in 9th. French driver, another one of those monster energy Fords. Ryan Terrien in the number 6 as they go 3 wide into the 3rd corner. Kendall Paul, Lucas Reed in the Fruity Pebbles machine, and Thunder Mansell in the Exalta Ford. Just trying to gain some sort of advantage on these cold tires. 1 car already into the wall. It looks like that could be the 11 machine as well. It is. That's Dylan Schultz, who's now become a moving chicane. The Ohio native coming down into the pits. 1 other driver up against it, and caution is out for the 2nd time in 7 laps. There's Dylan Schultz. Paul Weckerly trying to make his way through this one. Cody Johnson could have been involved. Ryan Pasoko will catch back up to the field, and we've got 2 yellows in a matter of 8 laps, so I guess we really have not missed a thing. But nevertheless, kind of not the worst thing in the world. So let's see if we can. Let's try and get a word here with Jake Prince. See if we can find out what he's thinking. Jake Prince, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Buddy, you're leading this race, but we've got 2 cautions in a matter of 8 laps. What's the give here? Obviously, this isn't Daytona, but something's got to explain what's happening here.
The track's just really hot and slick and loose. I mean, you're really having to pedal it off the corners. We're just trying to take care of our tires up front and get a good long run, considering we're the shortage on sets we have in the pits. So hopefully we can get some green flag running in here. But I mean, the track's really slick, so that's what's going to cause some of this sliding around and some spins.
You're sitting just in front of last week's winner, Dakota Long. Last week, he beat you to the line at Daytona by 2/100ths of a second. This time, it ain't no plate racing around, Jake. It's just going to be some oval, albeit you can't really call this track an oval, can you? It's kind of like a triangle, but it is going to be some oval racing. We're back to our regularly scheduled programming. What's going to be the strategy tonight at Phoenix? How are you going to beat the guy that beat you a week before?
Yeah, I mean, track position is going to be king. Obviously, staying up in the top 3 or so and keeping this clean air, and then taking care of your tires. Like I said, I mean, we only have 3 sets to last us 130 laps. So I mean, you're just really going to have to take care of the tires and baby them and make sure they'll get you through to a run, and just try to stay up front and stay mistake free until we're at an end.
Well, at this point, Jake, I mean, it's still early on. We've got 120 laps to go. The sun's going to go down a bit, but what effect is that going to have on the racing here?
Well, I feel like it'll get more grip, and the later it gets and the track temp goes down, you'll see guys be able to kind of push a little harder without tearing up their tires too much. But you know, like I said, it's a long race and short amount of tires, so we'll just have to see how it goes. Right now, we're just trying to stay clean, obviously with no fast repairs, and hopefully as the day goes on, the car will stay good, and we'll be up at front at the end.
1 to green next time by, Jake. Keep the shiny side up. Hopefully we talk to you at the end.
Yep, thank you.
One to green next time by, or this time by, I should say. Prince with control. Dakota Long will be starting in that second position. So they're going to go once again. Perrin Huggins and Mike Bennett in that second row as the lights switch off atop the pace truck. Cody McFadden, Sean Anderson in row number 3. Ryan Lindemann, Ryan Terrien occupying that 4th row. Thunder Mansell and Matthew Croakey in row number 5. All the way at the back, Connor Cordes. Looks like he might just not even be in this race while Dylan Schultz gets his car repaired. At the front, Prince and Long side by side, waiting for the green lights to illuminate the cactus outside turn number 4. And if you've just tuned in, you haven't missed a thing. I'm Rick James. You're watching ENEA Cup Racing from Phoenix Raceway, round number 2. We've had 2 yellows in the first 11 laps of competition. Let's see how far they go this time. Prince and Long in the front row. Green flag is out. Caution is out for the 3rd time in 13 laps. One driver already with issues again. Kendall Paul's going to be okay. It looks like it's going to be the 6-0 machine, Canadian Gerald Gallant, once again. And the number 60, Brent Camaro, to work. Shout out from John Murphy in the chat. Appreciate you, Murph. So at the front, Prince still with control of the field. 3 cautions in 13 laps, though. Perrin Huggins in that second spot. Dakota Long in 3rd. So the top 3 has not changed. Let's see what Perrin Huggins knows. Perrin Huggins, Rick James in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you, Rick.
Sitting in second. It's going to be a long race, but we've already had 3 yellows come out. It's only been 14 laps of racing. What's at the front, it looks all calm. But towards the back, it could be a bit closer back there. How do you feel about your shot for today's race?
I feel okay. I mean, I have a fast car. I don't think I have the fastest car yet. I need more laps, but we'll keep fighting and see what happens.
Tires are heating and cooling at a rapid rate as well, so moving on through the rest of the race, you've only got 2 tire changes as the laps continue to tick upwards. What's that going to mean as far as comfort level? Is it something where you have to manage the tires?
Oh yeah, for sure. It gets really loose on the long run, so you have to be really careful on the gas the whole time.
And there we go. Now we've updated those graphics to reflect the 2 tire changes and no fast repairs. But the lights are off atop the pace. Nope, they're still on. Never mind. I can't see. So it'll be 1 to go next time by, and then we'll get racing again. We're going to let you get back to work, Perrin. We appreciate your time, man. Keep the shiny side up.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
John Murphy interested in buying a new Camaro. Wants to know, how much is that Camaro, and is that my best price? Murph, I'll tell you what I tell everybody else. Go away. Bennett in the 4th position in the number 19 machine. Behind him, Sean Anderson, who's got good drafting acumen, but we'll see just how far the Toyota Camry makes it when they restart this race. Prince still at the front. He hasn't had to do much to stay at the front. Just be there when the caution comes out. But again, we'll see just how far they go. Let's take a quick look at Jake Baker, who crashed in the 17. One more look at Baker. Contact with Jeff Rudick in the 74. Rudick will move on with a scratch on the left front fender. Jake Prince will start to the inside of Perrin Huggins this time around. We'll see just how far they make it before the caution comes out once again. Flag is in the air. Drivers entering turn 3, about to come out of turn 4, waiting for the green lights on the cactus to tell them to put their foot down. Let's go racing. Cody McFadden in the 6-4, top side out of turn number 4. They've made it 1 whole lap without crashing. It is a Christmas miracle. Dakota Long goes purple, fastest lap of the race, 28.01 seconds, with Huggins now in 3rd. The Monster Fords nose to tail. Murphy asking when they're going to turn right. Never is the answer. Well, maybe when they crash. You got to give it up to Zach Baker. He did turn right in that accident, so I guess that's the only time they're going to turn right, is when they decide to have a crash. Justin Shoup in the 91, avoiding the dog leg as you see the driver ahead of him, Ryan Lindemann, bouncing off of that dog leg and using the apron to its full advantage at the front. Long ahead of Prince, but they're going to drag race down the back straight. Not quite yet. This is what the mirror looks like out of Jake Prince. Normal racing order has been restored in Phoenix. Jake Prince leading Dakota Long now moves to the inside, trying to edge Prince into turn number 1, but can he keep the hands steady? He sends it in deep while the Oreo machine looks to dunk on the inside of the 8 Ford. Prince in that pink machine, sandwich between Long and Huggins into turn number 3, and the Monster Energy machines giving that Oreo Camaro a run for his money. 21 laps now complete. under the setting Phoenix sun. Ryan Anderson up 12 places from where he started. He is the race's hardest charger so far. Let's go on board with the 13 Camry. There you hear it. Caution is out for the 4th time tonight in 22 laps. Mike Kirk has crashed. Let's take a look. And the 45 South Carolina Gamecocks machine just tries to use the apron, and he spins his race car around. One more look at Kirk. Just tries to use the dog leg, and the car snaps loose on him. I think that's happening with a lot of drivers, is they're thinking that the car's not going to move under all that weight transfer in the dog leg, and next thing you know, it all goes sideways. Right on board. Overcorrects, but luckily he keeps it off the racing surface. And the yellow is out for the 4th time tonight. Sean Anderson sitting in 6th. Dakota Long, your new leader in that 8 car. And with that, we're going to take our first break of the race. Fans, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 60 seconds with more Cup racing from Phoenix. So the pace truck peels off. The cars will continue to roll slowly down that back straight. And we're about to keep it moving. Dakota Long, Jake Prince on that front row. Rylan in the chat saying it's going to be the Long Prince Higgins show. Well, we'll just see what that Long Prince has to do here as the green flag comes out. Let's go racing again from Phoenix. Huggins to the inside off of turn number 2. Dakota Long, fast as hell, according to Freddie Ricky. Coming through the chat, Dakota Long leading out of that fourth corner. He's going to lead once again, going for 2 wins in a row. Prince to the inside, using the dog leg all the way against the wall. Comes back up onto the racetrack, and there is Dakota Long right alongside Jacob Prince, and we'll see what the Long-Prince duo can come up with in these next 102 laps. Perrin Huggins behind him in third, waiting for the chaos to unfold. Prince to the inside, Long to the outside. Let's go on board with Perrin Huggins in third. Sun starts to set. Drivers will get that bright flash in their eyes. Jacob Prince, new leader under the setting sun at Phoenix. Dakota Long in second. Further on back, Brian Tagg, Cody B. Johnson side by side out of 2. And there's already some more action. The 2 cars gone around. Not Croaky, but it's Ryan Pasoko in the 2 car. Pasoko coming back onto the racetrack. What is this man thinking with drivers coming on the way through? And Pasoko will bring out the caution for the 4th time tonight in 30 circuits. Someone do the math, but I have no idea what 30 is divided by 4, but that will be your average number of laps, not even green flag laps. That's the average number of circuits for every caution. And the 2 car of Ryan Pasoko, again, incorrectly being scored as the 26 or incorrectly being shown as the 2. Either way you like it. The 26 on the score, 2 on the side of the car, goes around. We'll see what happened with Pasoko coming out of 2. Gets on the apron, possibly just loses control by himself, and he does exactly that. Looks like he gets just a little bit of extracurricular contact up the back end as well. Let's see who tapped him in the back. Looks like the 6. It is indeed French driver Ryan Terrien from the Gentilly suburbs of Paris. Let's ride on board with Terrien. Let's try this once more with Terrien. Tried to avoid it, nothing he could do. And then the Massachusetts driver now under caution. And in that 17th position. So Jake Prince leads the race. Let's talk to the long one. And see how Dakota Long is feeling about his chances up at the front. Mr. Long, Rick James up top, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You got a copy?
I got a copy, DK. You got to tell me what's going on with these cautions, man.
Oh, a little bit too much in what we want right now. I don't know. So I guess something back there in the deeper half of the field, I guess. You tell me what's happening back there.
Rylan in the chat and YouTube says it's 7.5 laps for every caution. I have no idea what's going on. I'm good. At this point, I'm just going to put the lawn chair back, have a tasty beverage, and watch you guys keep on throwing yellows out here.
Yo, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we get some green flag running right here.
You got a chance to get around Jake Prince. You were able to put the moves on him last week. You got real close, and you were able to edge him to the line. But this time around, it looks like Prince might be edging you on that dog leg. You got to have a strategy so Prince doesn't get the upper hand and come over you.
Yeah, I'm just letting him use that dog leg for right now. He's going to use up his stuff getting in through that dog leg. I'm just taking my way around the track right now and saving my stuff for a bit. I got something for him there.
Less than 100 laps to go. You only get 2 tire changes as the race goes on and no fast repairs. Is it more of a question of just being patient until the end?
Yeah, Rick, we definitely want to be there for the end of this thing no matter what. So we're just taking it easy right now, and we'll be there when it counts.
Green flag this time by, buddy. Keep the shiny side up.
Thank you, sir.
Let's try this again, shall we? And if you've just tuned in, this time I won't say you haven't missed a thing, because you've missed a bit, but that's not the point. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here to enjoy racing again. Prince and Long, they have been running the show, so we'll see just what this Long Prince has for the rest of the run. Perrin Huggins, Mike Bennett in that second row. Cody McFadden and Ryan Lindemann in row number 3. The Ego and the Coors cars of Matt Croakey and Justin Shoup in the row behind them, waiting for the green flag to fly once again.
Green, green, green.
Let's go racing. Prince top side, but now he's got Perrin Huggins underneath him. Huggins will use the dog leg and crash his car against the apron. Back up to the 9 Oreo machine of Prince into turn number 1. Prince with the advantage. Huggins to the inside, and if Huggins can hug that yellow line, he'll be able to hug Prince all the way down the back straight, and the hug's been broken. Perrin Huggins in second. It goes 9, 4, 8. Your top 3. Huggins one more time to that goldenrod colored line on the inside of the racetrack. Up out of turn number 4 and across the line by 5/100ths of a second. Your new leader, Perrin Huggins. Prince on the inside trying to overtake that number 4 Monster Energy machine. 38 laps about to be completed from iRacing's Phoenix. Pasoko sitting in 11th after having that crash where he nearly backed into traffic. Trying to crack the top 10, but Nick Simpson sits ahead of him in the 46, and the caution is out again, this time for Brian Tagg. 99 coming back onto the racing surface. And spinning out in turn number 2 the same way Ryan Pasoko did. But this time he'll make contact with the inside wall and he will not back up directly into traffic. So caution is out again. And now we get a chance to talk to Mr. Cody McFadden. I guess not. Cody McFadden's unavailable for chat, but that's okay. So Perrin Huggins continues to lead this race from the front. Jacob Prince is in second. Will drivers take advantage of pit road? Not yet. Again, only 2 tire changes is what these drivers are allowed in these 130 laps. So they're going to have to use some conservation to make the most of it. We'll see just how far they decide to make it. Cody Johnson running in 11th into that 08 Bass Pro machine. Trying to catch back up to the field. He's behind Ryan Pasoko. Let's see if we can have a word with Mr. Johnson. Cody Johnson, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
I got you.
Buddy, you're sitting outside of the top 10 behind Ryan Pasoko, who's crashed at least once tonight that we've seen? Is it more of a strategy to put the pressure on somebody and just wait for them to make a mistake? Because that seems to be the trend tonight. Drivers just spinning themselves out.
Yes, sir. I hopped on literally as qualifying was starting, so I didn't have many laps. So I figured my best option to get to the front is just kind of sit back, ride, and try to limit my mistakes and let everybody else make them before I do, and hopefully I end up in the front somewhere.
It's only round number 2. Daytona, kind of the season opener, not really a good measuring stick of where drivers are. Strategy-wise, with only 2 tires and no fast repairs, when is the cutoff? When do drivers start to say, all right, fast repairs be damned, let's go for it?
In my mind, I have lap 75 to 80 is when I'm going to start trying to ease up a little, get a little bit more aggressive. That'll give me some laps to figure the track out, and also it'll give everybody else in front of me a little time to get the track figured out. So hopefully I don't get caught up in an accident that's not of my causing, I should say. But I'm just going to ride around to about lap 80, 85, and then start pushing.
Who's your biggest rival on the way to the front? Who's going to be the biggest challenge around you?
Around me, I got Sean Anderson right here. Closer toward the front, it'll be Perrin, it'll be Dakota, Prince. They'll all be quick, so I'm assuming when I get up there, it'll get a little bit tougher. But until then, we're just gonna ride around and make laps.
Keep the shiny side up, Cody. Hopefully we talk to you at the end, bud.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
So we're going to let Cody Johnson get back with his friends and get back into work. Green flag is out. Let's go racing again from Phoenix. Freddie Rickey says the 3 at the front are just too fast, but what will Michael Bennett have to say about that? The number 19 trying to move to the inside of Cody McFadden, get closer to the front. Matt Croakey also in that 0-2 Ego machine, trying to let go of the top 6 and get further into that top 5. How about Bennett diving down the dog leg while he watches the top 3 duke it out once again? Huggins, Long, Prince, 4, 8, 9 as they run in the top 3. We just heard Sean Anderson be mentioned. The number 1-3 Toyota Camry going to the inside of Kendall Paul. The 78 Allegiant Camaro running way too high and giving up just a little bit of traction on the top side. We'll see just how far he makes it. Caution behind him, a crash once again, smoke in the air, pouring into the blue Phoenix sky. Paul Weckerly avoiding Brian Tagg in the 99, who's now gone around. Tagg spins for the second time this afternoon in that lime green machine. Will now have to come down, and you can see he's got significant damage. The right front tire not moving this time around. We'll see what happened to Brian Tagg. Here's Tagg in the 99 coming out of turn number 4, already a bit off the pace. We'll see if it's the apron that gets him. This must be the lap prior because we see Tagg still moving in a straight line, so we'll keep our eyes on Brian Tagg. He's now on the inside of Justin Shoup. Oh, hard into Justin Shoup. What in the world happened with Brian Tagg? Keep your eyes on the hands. Dogleg once again put 2 wheels on the apron and it just ruined him. Just lost control. Justin Shoup, an innocent bystander. Nothing that the 91 could do. And Brian Tagg, the catalyst of the most recent caution that's come out. So Tagg will get repairs while Ryan Lindemann will now be the race's new leader. They used to call him Lindo on the Xbox side. And now he's sitting at the front of this one. It's bother Lindo and see what's happening. Ryan Lindemann, Rick James up top. You got me?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm wondering what you guys are doing.
I don't, I can't see behind me. We got to figure it out. We got to clean it up a little bit. But, yeah, it's not a good look right now.
Just a little more than a third of the way into this race. You chose not to pit. Is there a strategy behind this, or are you just looking to shake things up?
Looking to shake things up, the top three, I think, have this race pretty well sewed up, even though we're just over halfway, or not even halfway, but just trying to get a bonus point, keep a 0x and, just keep my nose clean.
And where's this bonus point coming from? Are we talking about stage end?
No, just leading a lap, getting a lap led, get a bonus point, and, hey, comes playoff time, bonus points, that difference.
Ryan Pasoko behind you, Cody B. Johnson in third, although a lot of drivers talking about Thunder Mansell, who pitted on lap 31, same as Sean Anderson, Ryan Terrien as well. Then you look to guys like Jake Prince, who's been in the front all race long. Everybody from 12th on back came down for tires. You must be gambling on the next caution to come out.
It's been gambling all night long.
It's going to be just about 80 laps to go. When we get the flag once again, who's going to be your toughest challenge on the way to victory lane, Ryan?
Definitely Jacob Prince.
Love to hear it, buddy. Keep the shiny side up like we tell everybody else, and hopefully we talk to you in 80 laps time.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Rick.
So it's going to be Lindemann and Pasoko on the front row. Cody Johnson and Thunder Mansell, third and fourth, respectively. Luke Reed, Mike Kirk, Chris Mayo running 8th, 9th, and 10th. And we'll see just what effect the tires have. Everyone keep your eyes on that number 9 Oreo machine. Jake Prince will be running his way through the field, and I mean flying his way through the field on fresh tires. He's going to have the advantage on the outside, but just how long will it last with these frequent cautions? Lindemann and Pasoko with control of the front row once again. Mansell and Johnson in second. Here's his chance to shake things up. We'll see what Lindemann has on offer for the rest of the field. They wait for the flag, and we're racing once again from Phoenix. So go to the inside and the new lead. Freddie Ricky, John Murphy enjoying the show in YouTube chat. Thank you everybody who's tuned in thus far. Cody Johnson in second. Ryan Lindemann in third. You see Lucas Reed trying to go high. Caution is out again in the 51st lap of this race. And this time it's Jeff Rudick who's involved in his second crash. Let's have a look at the 74. Rudick on the apron, and at this point, you gotta ask, when will they learn? Oh, right in front of Huggins, and the 46 catches him as well. That's two drivers tonight that have been indirectly involved in cautions because of drivers spinning out, and Nick Simpson catching the worst of it. Nothing Simpson could do. And now heavy damage on the left front corner. And caution is out once again. So Ryan Pasoko, now your race leader in that number 2. Pasoko hasn't pitted since lap number 9, but he's going to get to lead a lap tonight. Pasoko, Rick James up top. You got me?
Yes, sir.
This has got to be the 80th caution this evening. You've been the cause of one of them, but here you are at the front of this race. At this point, anybody could win just like Daytona. What's going on out there tonight, man?
Yeah, it's been a crazy night. It's a tough track. It really is a tough track, that tri-oval and everybody diving below there. So I think that's the cause of a lot of it. And the car's pretty loose coming out, so hopefully we can get going here and get some green laps in and put on a little bit better show for everybody. But sometimes you have days like this.
Inside the final 80, you have not pitted since lap number 9. What's that going to mean for your pit strategy? Are you just saving the rubber till the end?
It just the way it's been playing out, that's pretty much what we're going to do here. We got both sets left in the pit, so hopefully we can out-tire them.
Hopefully you can. Well, I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the next 75 laps, man. Keep the shiny side up. We'll see what happens at the end.
Sounds good. Thanks, man.
So Pasoko will have control of the field when we go racing once again. We're going to let these cars do their thing. We're going to take a 60-second break, fans. We'll be back in 1 minute with more ENEA racing from Phoenix. Through turns 3 and turns number 4, waiting for the green cactus to illuminate the afternoon from iRacing's Phoenix. Let's go racing. Sean Anderson in the 1-3, trying to avoid the dogleg moves of Jake Prince, Ryan Terrien, who are back amongst the top 5. Pasoko, Anderson, Terrien, your top 3 coming out of turn number 2. Let's see if they survive the backstretch. Pasoko running away with the lead, 4/10 back to Sean Anderson, while Prince moves into 3rd. Prince last pitted on lap 46, as did Michael Bennett in the 19. How about Luke Reed in that number 3? And they're starting to get a bit close. Dakota Long in that number 8 car goes around on the apron. He keeps it in one piece, keep it off the wall, and he keeps it green. Pasoko in the lead, Anderson behind him, Prince starting to catch up. 57 laps complete from Phoenix. Anderson to the lead, and he's just gone purple. 27.62 seconds at the front. Pasoko to the inside. Will he use the dogleg? No, but Anderson will. Trying to get the advantage as the 9 of Jake Prince moves to the inside of the 13 CMS Camry. Look at the 19. Mike Bennett starting to get just a bit closer, while French driver Ryan Terrien comes into the top 5, and he's got Cody Johnson behind him. Terrian now under threat of losing his top 5 position. Cody Johnson, the hardest charger of tonight's race, up 19 places. Jake Prince just moves into the lead around Michael Bennett. New leader in the number 9 Oreo Machine. Chevy, Toyota, your top 3. Sean Anderson in that Camry trying to hold off Pasoko in the 2. Further on back, it's a bit closer as Dakota Long looks to make up all the places he lost under cold tires, getting on the apron. Last week's winner at Daytona down to the 16th position as he gets around Jake Baker in the 1-7. Jerry Gallant in the number 60 Branch Chevrolet coming up behind Ryan Lindemann. That's the battle for 14th as Gallant tries to make his way around lapped traffic. The 7-4 of Jeff Rudick to the inside of Gallant, not giving it up, and the 8 car there, Dakota Long, making easy work of Rudick. At the front, it's Bennett and Prince dueling for the lead. 63 laps into this race. 19, 9, 13. Kudos to Sean Anderson, who's kept his spot. Big blink for Jacob Prince in the 9. Hopefully the internet stays stable for him as the race goes on. Terrian in the 6. Johnson in the 0-8 on his outside. Thunder Mansell in the number 1 Exalta. Ford sitting in 7th. It's McFadden's, Huggins, and Reed rounding out your top 10. On board with the Fruity Pebble Chevy. Bennett remains at the front. It is the race's longest green flag run thus far. Kind of impressive, to be honest with you. The green flag came out on, let's see here, let's do some quick maths. It came out on lap 55. It's now lap 66. 11 laps has been our longest green flag run tonight. Long may it continue. Bennett, Prince, Anderson, your top 3. Further on back, McFadden, Terrian, Huggins. Those 2 Monster Energy Fords of Terrian and Huggins in the red and blue cars respectively, trying to race around Cody McFadden. It's going to be 60 laps to go in just a few laps here. Terrian to the inside, trying to get advantage on McFadden, while Huggins sits in 7th, working the high side. The 0-8 of Cody Johnson in 5th, up 20 places from where he started. And with these long green flag runs, now you're going to see the drivers that pitted and got fresh tires will be taking advantage of the rest of the field. Bennett, Prince, the top 2, they pitted on lap 46. Perrin Huggins and Cody McFadden also pitted on lap 46. Ryan Pasoko has not pitted since lap number 9. And although it's been a nice race for Pasoko so far, loose out of the second corner and almost causes another crash. Pasoko now under heavy threat with wearing tires. It's been an even nicer race for Mike Bennett, who leads lap 68, and he's ahead of Jake Prince by 0.7 of a second. Pasoko in the 2, remember, has not pitted in 61 laps. He's still sitting in 4th. Perrin Huggins half a second behind him while Cody Johnson holds his own. Cody McFadden behind them all. Still working on a couple cars while Thunder Mansell tries to get around Justin Shoup, but the 91 of Shoup finds himself in the 20th position, several laps off the pace, so it's going to be an extremely uphill climb for Shoup all night long. We'll see just how far he decides to go. Pasoko now under threat from Perrin Huggins. On the outside of the two, the Monster Energy Ford looks for a way into the top 4. At the front, the lead grows larger. Bennett and Prince 0.7 of a second apart. How about Lucas Reed and Dakota Long about to swap spots? Long to the inside of Reed, and he puts that pink Monster Energy car ahead of the Fruity Pebbles Camaro. 72 laps now underway, while Ryan Lindemann is just on the fringes of the top 10, and Matt Croakey rounds out that top 10. Over the last 5 laps, Croakey has tried to get closer to Mansell, and he's doing just that. There's the gap for 3 cars. There you see Croakey quicker than Mansell, but Lindemann quicker than Croakey. We'll see if that 02 decides to let go that 10th position in these next few laps, but Lindemann is on the move. Look at that. Last time around, Ryan Lindemann 0.3 of a second quicker than Matt Croakey. If Dakota Long plays it smart, he just needs to ride behind Lindemann and let Lindemann do the work so he can then get around Croakey. That Long boy's running. He is running it indeed. Up to 12th. Dakota Long, again, one of those drivers that last pitted on lap 46. Lindemann pitted on lap 52, but even still, Long will not be patient, and he's going to get around Ryan Lindemann for 11th. Croakey working on Mansell for 9th, and up ahead, Cody Johnson under attack from Ryan Terrian. The French driver tries to go to the inside of Johnson for a spot in the top 6. Jake Prince now coming up behind Mike Bennett. 9/10 the difference between them. Getting closer. Huggins working on the back end of Anderson. And Matt Croakey now looking to go to the inside of Thunder Mansell. This is the battle for 9th. Little bit of a wiggle out of turn number 2. Croakey in the 0-2 has Mansell to his outside, but how about Dakota Long using all of his tires to make it 3 wide out of turn number 4? Will they survive into turn number 1? Croakey up the inside, Mansell in the middle, and how about Dakota Long making it work? Last week's winner at Daytona now scoots into 9th, but what will it mean for his tires in the rest of this race? 52 laps to go as Thunder Mansell gets loose out of turn number 2 and almost wrecks the car. It's going to cost him his spot in the top 10. Cody Johnson's gained 19 places since he started. The 08 has played his cards right. Terrian sits behind him, moving up through the field. Sean Anderson still in 5th. You've got to give it up to Sean. He has not pitted since lap 31, same as Cody Johnson, and they are holding their own against the setting sun of Phoenix. Mike Bennett, though, still in the lead. The top 3 now all last pitted on lap 46. Ryan Pasoko coming into pit road. He's decided he's had enough, but this time the caution not benefiting the 2 car. Looks like we've got a couple guys that are wrecking out of turn number 2. Possibly, it could just be smoke. Paul Weckerly up to 14th. Remember Weckerly, no stranger to cautions. He was involved in a few wrecks last week. Cody Johnson has opened up the bottom lane, and here comes Terrian. Anderson in 13th. Huggins. Anderson in the 13, in the 4th position. Huggins in 3rd. Sean Anderson might be in trouble because Ryan Terrien is now just eating up that time. 6 car is on the move. Terrien brave about using the dogleg. We've seen many drivers just lose control of the race car going through that dogleg, but not Terrien. He keeps it smooth, and he's up into 4th. Sean Anderson still holding his spot in the top 5, while at the front, Mike Bennett just taking these kids to school. Jake Prince behind him by 1.9 seconds. Both of these drivers pitting about 40 laps ago. We've got, if my math is right, which it never is, about 45 laps remaining. Somebody can correct me on that, honestly, but it should be about 45 to go. Cody McFadden in the 6-4, ahead of Matt Croakey by a second, and he's behind Dakota Long by half a second. Long now working on Johnson. And we'll see this Long-Johnson combo do some damage over the last 5 laps. There you see Long quicker than Johnson by about almost 4/10, while McFadden has just been slower. And there it is, last time around, positions switching. So over the last 5 laps, drivers swapping places, but still getting a bit closer, trying to make those important moves and set themselves up for a good run towards the end of this race. Thunder Mansell on the edge of the top 10, almost 5 seconds ahead of Luke Reed in 11th. Ryan Lindemann running away with it. Croakey on the outside of the 7-8 car. That's Kendall Paul, who's currently 3 laps off the pace. Justin Shoup moving to the inside of the 6-4 car now. Cody McFadden a bit slower than the lap Shoup in the number 91 Bobcat Camry. One car going around behind him. It looks like the 78. We just mentioned it. It is indeed Kendall Paul who goes for a spin on the front straight. That brings out the most recent caution, and the Salina, Kansas pilot responsible for this yellow to come out. Let's see what happened to Kendall. Hard contact from the 30. Let's go on board with Chris Mayo. And this is the lap prior. Let's see if we can see what happened. Let's run this one back just a bit. Have a listen with Chris Mayo and see where the contact occurred and why. There goes Paul in the 6. One more look. Tries to save it. Does a good 4-wheel drift, but the dog leg just upsets the weight transfer. Can't handle it, and he backs into the front straight wall, so the caution comes out once again for the 9th time tonight. Mike Bennett is your race leader under yellow, and we're going to go to a quick break. We're going to grab our bearings, and we'll come back in 2 minutes with more ENEA iRacing from Phoenix.
One more lap. Green, 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 green.
There's the signal to go racing once again. The light goes on at Phoenix, and we are inside the final 40 laps of action. Jake Prince, Dakota Long, Ryan Terrian, your top three. Terrian in second, Long in third. Jake Prince flying away with this one, half a second already ahead. Drivers trying to hold their own into turn number one, and one car back onto the racetrack. It's the 46 this time, and again, drivers refusing to learn their lesson, and this time it's Nick Simpson who proves that you can continue to try the same thing, expect different results, and the same thing will happen. Let's see what happened to Simpson this time. Was it the dog leg? Oh, lo and behold, it's the dog leg. That's a surprise. Justin Shoup almost getting a piece of this one again, thanks to Simpson. Oh, and there goes the one car, Thunder Mansell. And again, have a look. On cold tires, no heat. Nick Simpson hasn't pitted since lap 63, so he pitted under the last caution. No, he did not. It's now lap 94, so Nick Simpson hasn't pitted for 30 laps. And he thinks that the dog leg will work out for him this time, and I've got news for you, Nicky. It didn't. You can style your 46 to look like Valentino Rossi all you want. It just does not work. Nitro, you can put all the nitro, Nick, you want on the top of your car. It just doesn't work for him. So Nicky Simpson's outside of the top 20. Dakota Long comes down into the pits. Looks like he's putting on tires for the final time, and that's going to put... Is Dakota Long backing up? He's missed the pit entrance. Now they raise the car, and a big mistake from Dakota Long under caution, and luckily it's under caution. Had it been under green, this could really end his race, but Long now has his work cut out for him. Jake Prince at the front, Ryan Terrian in second, and Perrin Huggins will be in third when we go back to green. Waiting for that signal to come out so we can go racing once again. Prince with control of the field. Green flag is out at Phoenix. He uses the dog leg. He's got Huggins behind him. Terrien, top side, 3 wide into turn number 1. Will they survive? Barely. "31 laps to go as they cross the line. Terrien in 4th, Anderson in 3rd. Who's going to spin off the dogleg this time? Perrin Huggins in 2nd, while Prince goes to a 1/4 of a second lead in turn number 1. One car slow on the apron. Luke Reed in 8th, Ryan Lindo in 9th, and Justin Shoup in the 10th position. How about Shoup using those cautions to come back onto the lead lap and into the top 10? That is impressive. Prince leading by 3/10, Perrin Huggins behind him with 30 laps to go. Prince goes purple. 27.56 seconds. Jacob Prince just turns in the fastest lap of the race. Zach Bailey cheering for Mike Kirk in the 18th position. The 45 South Carolina machine spun earlier but still trying to crack that top 15, while Prince has a mirror full of Huggins. The majority of drivers pitting since lap 88, they'll have the tires that they have to the end of this race. It could be the most patient of these drivers that waits until the top 10 to win it. It goes Chevy, Ford, Toyota, your top 3. Ryan Terrien in 4th, Cody McFadden in that 5th position, while Thunder Mansell, despite being involved in the 46's last crash, Mansell is in that 6th spot. And he just went green, 27.73. Lindemann goes green, and Cody B. Johnson goes green, their personal bests of the race. That time, Johnson almost identical to Bennett in lap times. There is Mike Bennett in the 9th position where he started this race. Bennett leading a great handful of laps as well from the front. That dogleg is really going to get somebody else before this race is over. Mark my words. Matter of fact, in the chat, tell me what your over-under is on the dogleg here. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll set the over-under. Let's say in these next 25 laps, we're going to have 2 more cautions caused directly by the dogleg. You tell me if I'm over or under on that. DraftKings, get at me. Let's do a betting pool. Let's give me some odds on the over/under on the dogleg. Ryan Lindemann on the inside, 2x2, 2 rows deep. Lindemann, Reed, the 1 of Mansell, and then the 19 of Bennett, all fighting it out for 6th. Justin Shoup back to 14th as he's got Paul Weckerly up the inside, the 22 with Zach Baker in tow. Also added the 60 of Gerald Gallant, the lone Canadian, repping for the Great White North. Sun finally sets behind the stands, and maybe the track will cool down. We'll have a little more grip as the race goes on, but will drivers trust the grip of the cooling racetrack, or will they trust their cautiousness, their carefulness in these worn tires? 22 laps to go. Perrin Huggins, not a patient driver. Is he burning the tires too much, trying to chase down Jacob Prince? Does Prince have an ace up his sleeve, waiting for Huggins to make the mistake? 22 to go. Chevy, Ford, Toyota, your top 3, round 2 of the season. Last week, Jacob Prince played the bridesmaid by 2/100ths of a second to Dakota Long, who's in 11th. Over the last 5 laps, Dakota Long chasing down Johnson by a complete look at that. 2/10 on 106, 2/10 on 107, 3/10 on 108. Zach Bailey and Ryland think I'm over saying that there's going to be 2 more cautions caused by the dog leg. We'll see just how far that goes. Prince continues to lead. Huggins 3/10 of a second behind. Sean Anderson in 3rd. Anderson now currently the race's hardest charger, up 15 places since the green flag flew. 2:0 to go. Next time, 1-9 at the line. Fans at home, pop it in the chat. Let me know who you're cheering for. Let me know who you think is going to come away with this victory. Huggins possibly biding his time. Terrien now working on Sean Anderson. Let's go on board car number 6. Prince right up against the rev limiter. 17 miles remain in the 130-mile event. Mansell in 8th, Long in 9th. Last week's winner still within a shot, but he's got to protect those tires if he wants to have anything at the end. Lindemann just ahead of Long, who sends it in extremely deep into the corner. You can see the desperation coming from Dakota Long. The way he's driving that race car, he's not planning for a green-white checker. We'll see just what his tires have at the end of this one. And smoke up ahead, possibly one driver losing control. That looks like the 60 of Gerald Gallant, the Canadian. Still in the top 16, not having the worst run ever. Here comes Kendall Paul, who's in the 17th position. So Gallant still in fighting shape at the front. Jake Prince leading Perrin Huggins by 1 whole second. Sean Anderson trying to hold off Ryan Terrien, and the French driver looking to get a podium. Further on back, Lindemann chasing down Long, who finds himself 2 seconds behind Cody McFadden. It will be 14 laps to go next time by. Thunder Mansell in 9th. Cody Johnson in 10th, almost 2 seconds ahead of Luke Reed, while Lindemann tries to hold off Mansell. Anderson and Terrien continue to battle. Terrien up the inside, now trying to take Anderson for 3rd. This is the move for the bronze medal. Lucky number 13 laps to go next time by. Terrien to the inside of Anderson. Ford versus Toyota down the back straight. Anderson with a wiggle. Terrien rock steady into turn number 4. Terrien with the low line. Anderson with the speed out of 4, but will Terrien use that dog leg? Oh, you better believe he will. He's got to be one of the most consistent drivers I've seen tonight, where Terrien uses the dog leg, but he does not lose control of the race car. Mastering that technique for Terrien has kept him in contention to win this race. Ryan Terrien now into 3rd. A dirty dozen remains, and Perrin Huggins has closed the gap to Jake Prince to 7/10 of a second. Huggins coming in right behind Baker in the 17. Will Jake Baker make any waves for Huggins in the 4? None at all. Huggins around the outside, and it's 11 laps to go at Phoenix. Bennett and Long will now battle it out. Dakota Long in 6th, trying to slide right up to Bennett. Long right onto that dog leg, back onto the racing surface, and he overtakes Mike Bennett for the 6th position. He's 2 seconds behind Cody McFadden, who's just on the back end of the top 5. That 45 with more trouble. Mike Kirk spins again. He's in the 17th position, a full lap ahead of Gerald Gallant in 18th. And for Kirk, the goal now, look at that. Driver's weaving around him. For the South Carolinian, it's now his goal just to stay out of the way, but it doesn't look like he's doing the strongest job of it. Kirk, I think he's just trying to get to the finish of this race. Nurse the race car for another 10 laps and try and score a top 20 finish. We'll see where Kirk ends up 9 miles from now. Prince extends his lead over Huggins again, 9/10 of a second. Cody McFadden sitting in 5th. He's got Dakota Long right behind him. How about Sean Anderson in the 13 car? Still chasing down Ryan Terrian. Cody McFadden 0.3 of a second behind Anderson. Almost a full second between Jake Prince and Perrin Huggins. 7 to go. Next time by. Lindemann in the 5-7. Close to Marshall. How about Long up there in 5th? He's gotten around Mike Bennett. He's gotten around Cody McFadden while these two continue to battle. And Jeff Rudick in the 7-4 has been the cause of a caution or two tonight. And he's a moving chicane down the back straight. Rudick loses a little bit of momentum, but luckily everybody uses their skill to otherwise get around the 7-4. Mike Bennett just behind Dakota Long, and Cody McFadden can't make the dog leg work for him. Chris Mayo running in 15th right now in that orange number 30 machine. Cody Johnson just behind Ryan Lindemann. The 60 car, the Canadian of Gerald Gallant, just gets out of the way. Johnson gets another run at Lindemann, who's sitting in 9th. Up ahead, McFadden, just ahead of the 46 of Nicky Simpson. Johnson on the outside of the 60, almost going 3 wide and chasing down Lindemann. While at the front, Jake Prince continues to lead Perrin Huggins by 1 second. 4 to go, this time by. Contact almost made between Johnson and Lindemann. 3 wide as Lindo has to watch Johnson use the dog leg to take advantage of the 9th position and count off another one. Cody Johnson up 16 positions since the race started. Reed and Croakey battling it out for 11th. Matt Croakey in the Ego machine, Lucas Reed in the Fruity Pebbles car, and this battle a part of a well-balanced breakfast with 3 laps to go next time by. Prince pulling away from Huggins, 1.2 seconds now the gap with 3 miles to play. Ryan Terrien in 3rd. 9/10 of a second ahead of Dakota Long. We'll see just where Long decides to put his race car if he decides to use the chrome horn out of desperation for that podium. He wasn't afraid to use the bumper to move Jacob Prince out of the win coming out of turn number 4 at Daytona. Will Terrien receive the same courtesy? 2 to go this time. White flag in the air for Greenwood, South Carolina's Jacob Prince. Last week at Daytona, moved out of the way coming out of turn number 4. Had the win wrapped up, and it was just taken from him. But this week, it will be redemption. Jake Prince, no longer a bridesmaid. He is on the top step. He wins round number 2 at Phoenix. Perrin Huggins in second. Ryan Terrien in third. Able to hold off Dakota Long for that bronze medal position. And it is a weight off the shoulders for Mr. Jacob Prince. He's got the win that he was so desperately waiting for. And now the number 9 Oreo Chevrolet Camaro will celebrate in style. Chevy, Ford, Ford, your podium. Prince, Huggins, Terrien. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to have top 3 in just a moment. On the podium now with tonight's top 3, starting with the driver of the number 6 Monster Energy Machine, French ENEA pilot Ryan Terrien with the podium. Ryan, third place tonight in Phoenix. You had Dakota Long quickly approaching. Did you think he was going to use the bumper like you did last week?
I mean, I thought it was always a possibility, man. Honestly, but with him being my teammate, I don't think that he would have ended up doing it and potentially cost us both. So I wasn't fully worried about it, but I knew that he was going to send it. Real happy though overall.
Yeah, a fantastic third place finish. Looking next week to Atlanta. Can we do one better than third?
I sure hope so, Rick. I really hope to get up there and maybe notch either second or first just to keep climbing. This race was a brutal one. Only ended up changing one set of tires with some strategy. Got me some track position. Had a really good long run car. Definitely think that Prince and Long had the best long run cars, obviously, but definitely had a solid long run car. So I was happy with it, man. So it's a loose one out there.
We'll see if you'll still be happy a week from now. Congratulations on third. We'll see you at Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Our silver medalist tonight, one Perrin Huggins in the number 4 Monster Energy Ford. Perrin close to that lead, but Prince just had the juice at the end.
Yeah, man, he was just in a whole other dang zip code on that long run. I did all I could to save my stuff. I just didn't have nothing for him. It sucks, but I'm good. Glad he won though. He's a good friend of mine, and we will take a second straight top three and move on to next week.
We'll see you at Atlanta. Congratulations on second.
Yes, thank you, Rick.
Our race winner, driver of the number 9, Oreo Chevrolet Camaro, Jake Prince, doing his thing, getting the job done. Last week at Daytona, Jake, a second place finish, but now, finally on top of the podium, the gold medal in round 2 belongs to you.
Yeah, we had a good night. I'm really taken by surprise by this because I've never liked Phoenix. I've never considered myself good here, but I put in some work here today and yesterday, just practicing, getting better on the long run. And there at the end, I was just waiting on the caution to come out, but I'm glad it worked out like it did. I feel pretty good about my performance tonight, and I'm glad to kind of redeem myself from last week and coming in second.
Next week at Atlanta, you're going to go for 2 wins in a row. Is that possible?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I can win any track we show up to, just circumstantial and, things happen. You know how Atlanta is now. It's more like a speedway. So, we'll just have to see what happens. But shout out to my girlfriend for letting me race, and shout out to Rylan Long, who is Dakota's cousin, for being a crew chief.
We'll see you in a week's time, but for now, Jake, congratulations on the W.
Yep, thank you.
Fans at home, that puts Chapter 2 of ENEA in the books. This week, TNT takes a break, but coming up next Monday night, we're going to be at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and we're going to turn these next-gen Cup cars loose as ever, and we want you to tune in. And until that next race, everybody please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we